Alright, hello and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition, War Table. Previous episode we went to Exalted Plains. That's pretty much it. Ah, goddamn it, I'm gonna have to talk to people, aren't I? Let's try to talk to Josephine.
Yes?
I had more personal questions. Huh.
Tell me about the Montiliers.
Well, my parents are alive and in good health. They live in our estate in Antiva City. Of my four siblings, most attend to the running of the family vineyards. That reminds me, I must ask someone to make sure Yvette attends the spring reception at the palace. My youngest sister has no head for social engagements.
But why are you arranging it?
Why are you overseeing your siblings' social lives?
Yeah, are
It's
you the
Antivan
oldest?
custom. After a certain age, the heir apparent runs the family's estate to prove
Ah,
they're worthy of succession.
she's the
If you're
eldest.
unfit for the task, the heads of the house, usually one's parents, may decree a new heir.
What do the heads do?
What do these Antivan heads of the household do if they don't run it?
They work and provide guidance. I've taken advice from my parents. Well, mostly mother. Father's more of an artist. He's rather gauche, but we never can dissuade him from running his own salons. Between him and my siblings,
Maybe it's a
Mother's
hairdryer?
looking
I mean, no.
forward to my taking over the estate.
Barber. A barber? Yeah. Where do you find time?
Can you run your family's business and be the Inquisition's ambassador?
I won't let it interfere with the quality of my work for the Inquisition, I assure you. But managing the estate is my duty. As much work as it is, I will not shirk it.
You sound determined.
Is running your family's estate that important to you?
I'm responsible for their welfare. A Montilier never shuns their familial duty. Taxing as those duties can sometimes be.
You'd never let go of them.
I think you're too finicky to give those responsibilities to the rest of your family.
You don't know them. But Lorien in charge, or Antoine, or Yvette? No, truly. It must be me.
Okay. Ah, God damn it. Let's talk.
What's the land like in Antiva?
The setter areas are quite lush. The vineyards run as far as the eye can see in some places. Antiva City, however, perches right up against the Rialto Bay. That's what I miss most. The sea crashing against the maze of the docks.
I have difficulty seeing you wandering around a
I
trading
kind of
post.
imagine it more to be
Everyone
like
in Antiva
Dawn,
City spends time
you
by
know?
the ships, my lady. The finest restaurants and poets
From
all
Game of
make their
Thrones,
habitation
if you
by
don't
the
know.
sea. The waterfront's never still. Lanterns are lit along the promenade no matter what the weather.
Are you ever homesick?
Occasionally. When a breeze stirs the trees in the garden, I sometimes pretend it's the sound of the surf. Do you know, I even miss those terrible squawking birds infesting the harbor. My
Seagulls.
youngest sister used to throw whole loaves of bread to the gulls. Silly thing.
Okay.
Who rules Antiva?
Officially, the Principality of Antiva is governed by His Majesty King Fugelno II. In reality, Antiva's merchant princes rule the country in everything but name. Quite loudly, I might add.
What sort of dealings did you have with these merchant families?
As ambassador, I attended Privy Council meetings in a mediatory capacity. May I just say, one has never heard an argument until they've sat in on 15 princes howling down each other's tariff suggestions.
That sounds infuriating.
I'd storm out of any meeting that came to that.
It would be fitting. Dramatic exits are always a favorite. It's all a part of life in Antiva. Our traditions value passion and romance. A certain exuberance of style.
Of course. Very Spanish.
Are you positive you're Antivan?
I can be most exuberant when it's called for. Just at the right moments, and in a proper fashion. Might we speak of something else?
Alright, where did you grow up? Antiva, I
Where were
suppose.
you raised, Josephine?
I was born in Antiva City, but when I turned 15, mother declared I'd attend finishing school in Valroyo.
Oh,
But I bowled into her
West
skirts the day I had to
Royal.
leave.
I'm not surprised.
I can see that somehow.
Admittedly, I may have been a trifle sheltered, but my mother only wanted the best for me. Living in Orlais was an education in itself.
What was the school like?
What did you learn at this finishing school in Valroyo?
Among other things, mathematics, rhetoric, poetry, history, logic, and a great deal of etiquette. I still remember Madame Beventir's switch on my knuckles when I forgot the basic tenets of Nevaran dining
Ah,
custom.
yes, the
For
switch.
a dowager approaching her 80th year, she had quite the arm.
What did you think of Olay?
How did the younger you like Valroyo when you arrived?
Have you ever stepped into a new city and felt the buildings couldn't possibly be real? That was Valroyo to me. So beautifully foreign. I gaped at its spires for months.
I
Does
thought
Antiva
Antiva
City have nothing that compares
was
to
meant to look
Valroyo?
better.
Antiva City is a jewel among the capitals. But I did not appreciate that before I traveled. There are multitudes of places I'd like to see. Saharan, the Anderfels, whatever lies past the Amaranthine Ocean.
You haven't really gone into detail about how you know Liliana.
We met... let me think. We met the last few years of my schooling, but we became friends after I became ambassador to Olay. It seems terrifyingly long ago now.
How exactly did you and Liliana reconnect in the Inquisition?
I discovered my family had been overcharging a merchant we traded with for months. Our name carries a great deal of trust in Antiva. I spent weeks arranging a string of favors as suitable recompense. Apparently satisfied, the merchant extended me an invitation to her estate. Liliana greeted me in place of the merchant.
I assume the entire problem was some form of trial.
You assume correctly. Liliana claimed she needed someone of painful integrity for the Inquisition. I accepted, once she finally explained what it was.
Do you remain close?
Yes, but she's grown so much more distant than the outgoing woman I met in Barroyo. Liliana used to wander the Orlesian courts, singing the sweetest songs, charming the greatest wits. Now she collects secrets and takes risks that would make empires tremble. I worry, but she will not hear it.
Does Liliana confide in you?
She enjoys revisiting our more disastrous adventures. Liliana used to concoct the most ridiculous plans. Run if you ever see her with a twine ball, a measuring stick, and a handkerchief.
Right.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
Codex unlocked. Antiva. That took a while. It just took like 10 minutes. That's per character. By 10.9, why do they have so many characters? It's so much easier in Dragon Age Origins. We're Rilden. Alright, let's see your reports. Note, the Skyhold's gate guards. I hear the Mayor Crestwood's being found. When he comes in, stick him in the holding cells. Let him stew there until the Inquisitor brings him out for judgment. Gola Blythe. Set report. Pursuit through the mountains. Commander, we caught the Red Templars off guard. They put up a fight, but the Inquisition proved more than they could handle. Lieutenant Kestrel. Okay. Information on the Grand Enchanter. Commander. Prisoners released today. Punishment seems a little soft for nearly killing one of our own soldiers, and some of the troops are grumbling about it. I'll keep an eye out. Keep an eye on the situation. Not Captain Bryony. Not Commander. Resource extremists. What's this? A message from Rector waits on the wall table. Stealing his canister from the messenger bird. Locate the cell. 15 mages. Materials suggest they are building explosives similar to the one used at Kirkwall. Target unknown. Strike first and clear out the cell before they put out those explosives to use.
For you, Commander. The soldiers the Herald rescued from the Fallermire arrived an hour ago.
Thank the Maker. We need good news.
Yeah, we do. Go get it, Colin. That was over here. Missing assassin. My dear Liliana, your Inquisition is working with the crows. I ask only because I may have removed. Oh, it's Zevran. My dear Liliana, your Inquisition is working with the crows. I ask only because I may have removed one of the assassins from your employ. If I had known the man was yours, I would have at least let him finish the contract. No matter. Allow me to make it up to you. You know I would do a much better job than the crows, and I am far more pleasing to work with, no? As a favor to a friend, I'll charge only a fraction of the price. Zevran Aranai. So if you didn't know, Zevran was former crow, and now he hates the crows, because the crows are hunting him. Zevran will be a useful ally. We can funnel resources to him while not normally maintaining our alliance with the crows. Our assassin wants to help. After killing one of our other assassins, we're already stuck with crows. Why make this more complicated? Liliana, go.
Inquisitor.
The Revenge of the Merchants Guild. An unsent letter from Varric waits in the war room, addressed to Jerick Dace, Denham Merchants Guild. Jerick, I need a key to the Merchants Guild cipher from 1 month ago. And you still have payments left on the loan house Tethras gave you for your rescue mission to Amgarak. So I think we can make a deal. I get the cipher, and your debt disappears like financial magic. And Nightingale, since I know you'll open this and read it before it gets sent, don't bother to keep a copy. The guild changes their codes every month because dwarves are naturally paranoid. Varric Tethras. Oh, it can only be just a 10 layers of Denham, gain the cipher will help Liliana and the killer.
Inquisitor.
And we're good to go. You know what? Instead of looking through the Exalted Plains, I'll just go around talking to people. Because that's so much fun. Yeah. Meant to do the character quests. I haven't exactly done that yet. I guess I'll do one of these judges as well. Alright, give me the Crestwood's Mayor. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Well, he already wrote it down, but...
Mayor Gregory Dedrick of Crestwood is present for betraying his own constituents. He confesses that, 10 years ago, he flooded Old Crestwood to kill refugees and villagers touched by the Blight. The mayor claims it was to spare the rest of Crestwood, but we only have his word.
Nah, he has a chance to prove it.
The mayor has anything to say in his defense, let him speak.
There's no cure for the Blight. But I couldn't convince anyone to leave a sick child or husband behind.
So you herded the infected into one place and flooded Old Crestwood. Were no innocents caught in the waters?
I'll say it's a
Nearly
good deed.
everyone in the village had the Blight. I swear it. Have mercy. I couldn't tell the survivors I'd drowned their own families to save them. I couldn't.
Corrode and thrown, I'll give him a clean death. Knock him out. Best I can do is exile.
You lied for 10 years about your crime, then fled after confessing your guilt. For avoiding justice, you are exiled from Ferelden. I doubt the Crown will disagree.
I knew your coming meant the end, one way or another.
You should be grateful. Motherfucker. Stop disapproving, you sons of bitches.
I asked Mother Giselle.
That's right, we just gotta kill everyone, Jesus Christ. I can come back later.
Is this a bad time? I can come back.
No, it's all right. Bills are really not that engrossing. I've been meaning to come talk to you anyhow. I never officially joined the Inquisition. I don't know how to do this disciplehood thing. I'm a businessman. Never really followed a chosen one before.
Make it up as you go.
I don't even know how to deal with all this. Just make something up. It'll be fine.
Oh, so we're saving the world through bullshit now?
Yes, pretty
All
much.
right, I can manage that. You just don't know what you are to the people out there. The Herald of Andraste is a symbol bigger than any of us.
What am I to you? Wait, what? Okay, sure, why not?
What am I to you then?
None of this shit makes any sense to me. Is this the end of the world? Did Andraste send you through the breach? I had no idea. You heard the crowd singing after Haven was attacked?
Please don't sing.
Please tell me you're not going to burst into song now.
Don't worry, I'm not that cruel. I should probably get back to work. Unless, you up for a game of Wicked Grace?
Sure, why not? I don't even know what that is. Am I gonna get Codex unlock?
I need to have a few words with my publisher. The first one will be you, and the second one will be Bastard. They've claimed for years my crime serials don't sell in Orlais. So why is the Council of Heralds asking me for autographs? Sorry,
What?
distracted. Anyway, you need something?
Questions on Hawk.
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
No.
Carry on.
Why is the option still there then?
If you need something.
Tell me about Red Lyrium.
I want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
What could the Templars want with it?
In Kirkwall, just having the Lyrium idol made Knight Commander Meredith impossibly strong.
Did it?
Before it turned her into a Lyrium statue, anyway. Maybe they thought the power
Made
was
him
worth it,
paranoid.
or maybe they didn't know the consequences.
I think that's enough on Red Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
God damn it. There was more.
If you need something,
There was
I
more.
want to know more about Red Lyrium.
I'll tell you what I can.
I've seen it infect people like a disease and turn them to lyrium. How can it do that?
That's a good question. To tell the truth, we don't really know what that shit can do to a person. And I don't want to find out.
I think that's enough.
Turns
on
him
Red
into Lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject. Looking for someone to talk your ear off? I think I can oblige.
No, it's gone. Good. Good.
What are your thoughts on the Inquisition?
If there's anybody out there who hasn't joined the Inquisition, they're hiding under a rock. Did you want to take over for Eldon? I think we might be able to conquer it just by looking east.
Let's discuss Josephine.
How do you think Josephine is handling the job of ambassador?
I'm starting to get the feeling that this is all a warm-up before she takes over Antiva in a bloodless coup.
What do you think of our general?
He's been insufferably smug lately. You might want to tell him to watch his back. I think Liliana might shiv him.
What?
What do you
Why?
think of Liliana's work?
Do you want to know what the Arishok had for breakfast this morning? I think she can tell you.
Good to know.
Back to work, then. What can I do for you, Inquisitor?
Stop getting rid of the frickin' dialogue.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Thanks.
Okay.
No problem.
Well, let's talk to the ones outside first. Since there's list of them. Is it? Who the hell are you?
Thank you for Haven. Less so for Redcliffe, but I am committed to serve your worship.
Right. Who are you again? What's this place? Blacksmith. Cassandra. Oh, there's a quest thingy here. I wonder what it is.
Stefan finally died. It was a blessing, really. He's been in so much pain since Haven. He was out of his mind at the end. He smiled, said he smelled his mother's turnip stew, and slipped away.
Sutherland. Is it you?
Inquisitor, it was amazing. Sorry, slow down. Your quartermaster outfitted me, and I got trained to hunt the bandits near my home, in your name.
Oh,
The
it's
Lad
you.
Boss- Don't tell anyone. He's a mage. A good one, though. Thank you for trusting me, your worship. I'll pay you back, I swear.
He's the one in the quest thingy. Turn the gear, go to work. Who are you again?
Right, and who are you again?
Oh, no one, your worship. Just... never mind. This is the start of something grand. I know it.
What's this quest thing? We're supposed to talk to Iron Bull?
Inquisitor?
Let's discuss Iron Bull.
I'd like to know more about the Iron Bull.
The chief. Last time I met him, he saved my life. I never thought I'd work for Canary, but he grows on you. He's not like any commander
No.
I've ever worked for. That's for damn sure.
What kind of commander is he?
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
If you know what you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. He keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Bull isn't like that. The charges might give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
Is him being Kunari odd?
Is it strange to work for a Kunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's charges don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I'm surprised he told you.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. Eyes to eye, he says. It's never
Yeah,
missed up
that's
a
what he
job.
said to me.
He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
How did a Tevinter soldier wind up in a Kunari spy's mercenary company?
I wasn't a soldier at the time. I was in some trouble, trying to flee Tevinter. A Tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. They meant to make an example of me. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. Patched me up
Oh,
and asked if I was
his
looking
eye.
for work. I've
That's
been
why he
putting up
lost
with
it.
his jokes ever since.
That's how he lost the eye?
Yes. The guards had me on the tavern floor when Bull came inside and yelled for them to stop. One of them saw trouble coming and figured he'd finish me off. The guard had a flare. Bull put himself between me and the blow. Big-horned idiot. Didn't even know me.
We'll talk later.
Really? He'd do that? Oh, Iron Bull! We're outside now?
Come on, Krem. I'm working my ass off trying to get you to see that move.
You still got plenty of arse left, Chief. Your worship.
Glad you came by. I got a letter from my contacts in the Ben Hasrath. Already verified it with Red.
Who was red again?
Do you want to discuss this alone?
Not like I was hiding it from my boys. Besides, right now, I need to hit something.
You know they've got training dummies, Chief.
The training dummy might actually defend itself against the shield bash. Anyway, the Ben Hasrath letter.
You're supposed to just watch. What's in the letter?
What did the letter say?
The Ben Hasrath have been reading my reports. They don't like Corypheus or his Venatori. And they really don't like Red Lyrium.
So
They're
they're
ready
coming.
to work with us. With you,
Oh.
boss. The Qunari and the Inquisition joining forces.
I don't trust them. Yeah, since I'm Telvishoth.
That would be an unprecedented offer, if I believed it was legitimate, which I don't.
Now, ordinarily that would be the way to go, but they've identified themselves. They're not running a game on you. They found a massive Red Lyrium shipping operation out on the coast.
They wanted us to hit it together. Talked about bringing in one of their dreadnoughts. Always wanted to see one of those big warships in action.
Yeah, never really got to see one. There was one docked in a...
Go get some water. They're
Chuck
worried
wall.
about tipping the smugglers, so no army. My charges, you, maybe some backup.
Best to gauge, what are they offering?
What does this alliance really get us?
They wouldn't use the word alliance if they didn't mean it. Naval power. More Ben Hasrath reports. Qunari soldiers pointed at the Venatori. It could do a lot of good.
You don't seem entirely happy about this.
No, I'm good. It's... I'm used to them being over there. It's been a while.
I thought Qunari wanted to extend their reach to the whole world.
Yeah. Just didn't think I'd see it. Look, the Qun answers a lot of questions. It's a good life for a lot of people. But it's a big change. And a lot of folks here wouldn't do so well under that kind of life. I guess it's not like we're converting. This is just us joining forces against Corypheus. On that front, I think we're good.
And then what happens afterwards? I'll do it, sure.
I think the Inquisition could use some help from the Qunari.
Good. I'll pass on word to Cullen and Red. We can set up the meeting whenever you're ready.
Okay. Qunari dreadnoughts. Cassandra. Well, I haven't actually finished talking with Bull yet.
I wonder who knows pain describe the game. It's one who lacks.
Hey, that elven redhead who makes the buns in the kitchen. Is she available? Because I'm getting signals.
Oh, now I know who Red is. Frickin' Nightingale. Frickin' Liliana. Tell me about Sahara.
Can you tell me more about Saharon?
It was a damn ugly place. Only getting uglier when I left. Between the Fog Warriors, the Talvashoth, my people, and the Vince. You were lucky to go a day without blood. What do you want to know?
Tell me about the Fog Warriors.
What were the Fog Warriors like?
They were the worst of the rebels. They trained for stealth attacks.
Oh.
They made this fog. I never saw any mages, so I figured it was alchemy, not magic. They were almost invisible in it. I'd be on patrol in the market square. The fog would roll in, and before I knew it, half my squad dead without a sound.
It's kind of impressive.
It almost sounds like you admire them.
They didn't use poison. They didn't hurt civilians, and they were damn good fighters. You have to respect that. Plus, they hit their Vince as hard as they hit us. Hearing some terrified Magister scream, "My slaves! Where are my slaves?" in the fog always put a smile on my face.
Tell me about the Tevinter people you fought.
The Vince sent forces to Saharan every autumn. Guess they didn't like the summer heat. We had some good fights on the beaches, standing in knee-high water, foaming red with blood. Ships on fire around us. The cities were worse. Free bit of advice. Don't let the Inquisition forces get suckered into urban combat.
Why do you hate Tevinter forces so much? What makes them so bad?
It's not their armies. It's their spies. They bloodied Saharan year-round, killing loyalists, supporting rebels. Alam had no city administrator. Nobody would accept the position. The last 4 who held it died inside a year. Trying to conquer a country is one thing. Making it so nobody can live there, that just screws everyone.
Oh.
What are things like for the natives of Saharan?
I remember one guy. He made these things, fish wrapped in thin bread. Nice guy. Talked to him every morning. So, One time I'm asking about his bad back, and I see he's nervous, trying to tell me something with his eyes. Next thing I know, his assistants draw knives and come at my team. The rebels had forced him to poison my food.
Oh, did you eat it?
And then?
I'd seen how nervous he was, so I hadn't eaten anything. A couple of my guys weren't so lucky. We killed the rebels. I lost 2 men to the poison, another to knife wounds. My friend who made the fish wraps died with a knife in his throat. Close quarters fight. I was caught in the middle. That is what things are like for the natives of Saharan.
No,
See you later.
poor natives.
Nice talking with you, boss.
Maybe we should go there.
Man, those serving girls are frisky.
Stop looking at them. Let's talk about being
There are
Kunari.
few here who know what it means to be Kunari.
You're not Kanari. You're Talvashah. World of difference.
Wish I'd known they could. No, I'm still different. I'm proud of it.
My parents raised me to be free. I'm grateful to them.
Fine. Their call. You didn't turn into a murdering bandit, so I guess we're fine. You want to know anything about the Kanari? Since we're talking about them.
What's wrong with Talvashah?
What's your problem with Talvashah?
As Ben Hasrath, my job back home was keeping the peace, helping people live by the Q. Talvashah turned their back on all that, decided they'd rather live like savages. The Qun is not perfect, but at least there's some sense to it.
Parents weren't savages. The Qun offers no choice.
Kunari society gives its people no guidelines on how to live without following the Qun. Of course, most of them turn into lawless bandits once they break away from it.
Just because I understand it doesn't make it right. They could have stayed, tried to change the Kanari from within. Instead, they gave up everything they had.
You can't change it.
Look, if you're worried I'm going to attack you, don't be. I had a lifetime of fighting Talvashah. You're not the kind I hate.
Okay. How is it growing?
What's it like growing up under the Qun?
The Tamasrans raise us in these units of kids all our own age. They're like teachers or chantry sisters. They also help figure out what jobs we should do. They had me pegged for military work early on. When they learned I could hit stuff and lie, they started training me for the Ben Hasra.
Yeah, so you think it's like communism or something? Well, the job types.
You never knew your parents?
No. I know for you folks, that's a big deal. The Tamasrans were like our parents, though. Taught us to read, helped us go to sleep, all the parent stuff. I remember the one who helped me build things with blocks. She laughed when I knocked everything down.
Oh, well that's kind of sad.
Do you ever think about what would happen if the Kunari conquered Orlais or Ferelden?
Some folks, like Cassandra or Cullen, would do fine if they didn't die fighting. Those two love rules. But the mages... Vivienne's too political. Dorian's too arrogant, and Solus is just... weird.
Weird.
They'd all end up dead. Or worse. They'd kill Cole, cause, you know, demon. And Sarah would end up with her mind broken, sweeping floors in some shop. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think about it much at all.
That sounds like you thought about it quite a bit.
How do the Kunari rule themselves?
It's pretty simple. We've got the matriarchy, the priesthood, and the military. The priesthood figures out how Kunari should live in theory. The matriarchy makes it work in practice. And the military keeps the Kunari safe from outside threats.
Does it actually work like that? Is there much infighting?
Not like you're thinking of. People disagree, yeah, but the priests are there to solve disagreements. Here in Orlais, politicking comes from people putting their own gain ahead of the gains of society. If you do that among the Kunari, the Ben Hasrath set you straight. Or kill you.
Okay.
How is everyday life different for Kunari?
Depends on your job, I guess. Some are just about the same. A baker in Valroyo gets up, gets dressed, and starts work. A baker in Parvolan does the same thing. They don't care about the Empire or the Q. Mostly they worry about breaking eggs and hope the dough rises right.
can't be exactly the same. The Kunari have no personal freedom.
Yeah, they're chosen
How
from
many
birth to
personal
be a
freedoms
baker.
do you figure that baker in Val Royal has? Life isn't about freedom. The baker in Parvolan wonders if she'll be given enough eggs to do her work. Will they come on time? Will the kitchen workers get her bread while it's fresh, or will they come late and blame her because it's stale? Same crap in Val Royal. People are just people.
But they would want more.
I heard there's no marriage among the Kunari.
Yeah, that's true. Canary love our friends like anyone does, but we don't have sex with them.
Kunari don't have sex?
Oh, we definitely have sex. They're Tomassos
Okay.
who pop your cork whenever you need it.
What? Tomasrans.
Seriously?
Yes. It's not a big deal like it is here. It's like, I don't know, going to see a healer. Sometimes it's this long, involved thing. It takes all day, leaves you walking funny. Other times you're in and out in 5 minutes. Thank you. See you next week.
Of course. You don't know true passion. Oh, let's see what this does.
So, you've never really made love? Connected with someone in both body and soul?
I don't know. One time they used this thing called the Sato Nerapan. It's a leather wrap.
Oh, no.
That wasn't really my soul. Also, there were more than 2 people.
Oh my god. What does Kunari mean?
The word Kunari. Does it mean what we are, the race? Or is it anyone who follows the Qun?
Depends on who you ask. Are you Canari or Talvasha? The humans and elves who follow the Qun are the Vidathari. The Canari who break away from the Qun are Talvasha, deserters.
And those who predate the Qun.
What about Kunari who existed before the Qun?
The people we came from. They're called the Kasith, but we don't use that word for the race. We came south to Thedas because the Kasith were... I don't know. We had to leave. The stories aren't clear. But I don't expect they look much like us. Whatever they are.
Oh. The Kunari broke from the Koseth. I see.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss. Good to see you, boss.
I'd like to hear more about the Chargers.
Always happy to talk about my guys. What do you want to know?
I'd like to know more about Krem.
He's a good soldier, and a better second in command. The troops need someone to complain to when I'm being a hard-ass. He's good for that.
Special. Him being her isn't an issue?
You don't have any problems with him being a woman?
He's not a woman. Look, you and I have to walk carefully so we don't accidentally break the furniture or the elves. We're probably not the best people to go around deciding what's normal. Krem's a good man. I don't give a nug's ass that it's a little harder for him to piss standing up.
You don't have a problem with him being from Tevinter?
Nah,
So he has different views.
sure. But he's not a Vint. He's just Krem. I can get worked up about a group or a nation just fine. But people, it's too much work to hate them one by one.
How did you start the group?
It's easy to make a name for yourself as a merc when you're a head taller than most folks. I spent a year or two working for Fisher's Bleeders, but their captain was crap. Figured I could do better. The best folks in the Bleeders agreed with me, so we split off.
I imagine Fisher disagreed.
He came at me. I snapped his sword in half, and we talked things out over drinks.
And then you killed him.
What are the craziest jobs you've ever taken?
Besides this one, there's a lot of violence between the nobles here, but that's standard work. The fun stuff is when they party. They always want to impress each other, and that means getting something shiny. We've hunted wyverns, fought through caves to find some old magical crap. Even when giant baiting was.
You're baiting giants?
What's giant baiting?
So this old guy, Comte Van Chess, has some kind of a pageant planned. But he needs a giant, which is off in some damn cave. He's got some kind of rare charm to control the giant, but no way he's going into that cave himself. So we go in, kill some spiders, find the giant, and wake it up. It attacks us because, of course, it does. And we let the
Of
big
course it
bastard chase
does.
us outside where Van Chess is waiting.
That was actually your plan? To let a giant chase you?
Yeah, we had to stay out of reach, but close enough that it wouldn't give up. It was tricky. Good news is the giant
Just shoot
was
at it.
slow. Long as my guys ahead could clear out the spiders, we were fine. Bad news is the giant spiderwebs slow you down a bit more than you think.
But at least Comp Van Chess got his giant for the pageant.
It didn't
turned out
work.
that charm was a phony. Giant ate the poor guy alive. It's okay though. We still got paid.
You have people from plenty of different backgrounds in your group.
Yes, well, when you're in Orlais and you look like me, you can't be picky about who you take in. A lot of them got turned away from other companies that didn't want a knife here, or a crazy dwarf. Their loss. You get my back in a fight and carry your own weight, you're good with me. How about you? You had a company of your own. How did you put yours together?
I used Telvishoth.
My company was mostly Talvishoth, like me.
Well, it's better than becoming bandits, I guess.
See you later, Bull.
Nice talking with you, boss.
There's a thing against Telvishoth. Hello, Harding. What are you doing here?
Well, I hope.
Watched you.
What's been going on?
Ambassador Montelier sent me a basket of flowers to thank me for my work with the Inquisition. She's so lovely.
Okay.
Shouldn't you be out there scouting?
In a bit. We're in Skyhold for supplies and a change of personnel. Not me, though. Indispensable.
So, who's Scout Harding, really?
Me? Oh, I'm no one. Lived near Redcliffe all my life.
No, not ask
Did
these
shoot
questions.
for my neighbor. When the Inquisition came through my village, I helped by telling them everything I knew about the area. Then I signed on. Wanted to see the world before it was swallowed up by that thing out there.
Take care.
Yeah. Do that. Cassandra! Ooh, what's this? Look at them seeing Seekers. I assumed she was the only one.
I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Stubborn as ever.
Keep banging your head against the problem. It'll go away eventually.
I'm predictable, I know. I suppose I'll never find them on my own. We saw so many Red Templars at the assault on Haven. Perhaps all that was left of the Order. What we didn't see was Lord Seeker Lucius. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why can't they be dead?
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead.
Not
But the
easily.
Seekers
Are
began
you
this
serious?
war against the mages.
There's a fucking
They
dragon.
cannot have simply vanished. There must be a trail we can follow. Yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Yeah,
Seekers do not use lyrium.
I
I
could give it
assume
to them.
Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
They might be his allies.
Wherever they are, they might be working with Corypheus willingly.
I refuse to believe that without proof. I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance... If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
Oh, what the fuck? She wants to investigate some leads, huh? I could do that. Just a moment though. I gotta talk to Cassandra. Why'd they leave you there? Jesus Christ. I gotta talk to Cassandra, I gotta talk to Cullen, Cole, what have you.
I understand if resources cannot be spared to help search for the missing Seekers, Inquisitor. Still, it could involve a threat we are unaware of. There may be a use in looking.
Do you want to be a divine?
So, you're a candidate for Divine now.
So I am informed.
Is that something you actually want?
Why should what I want matter?
You're not ambitious?
The idea of power doesn't appeal to you?
Ah, yes. To be embroiled in politics and have every cleric jealous of me for the rest of my life. It is very simple. The Chantry needs to survive. To do that, it must change. I have never believed in asking another to do what you are unwilling to do yourself. So I look upon this as an opportunity. I owe it to myself and all of Thedas to seek the Sunburst throne.
We'll get that Chantry.
I don't see why you think the Chantry is so worthy of reform.
I am not so quick to abandon it, or the principles for which it stands.
Can you tell me more about the Seekers?
The Seekers of Truth were born from the original Inquisition long ago,
No,
when
original.
it united with the Chantry. Seekers stood above the Templars,
Wouldn't that
watching
be
over them but
way
also
ages ago?
investigating magical events they couldn't handle. We were meant to be incorruptible, above reproach. How seldom does reality match the ideal?
How do you become a Seeker?
How does someone become a Seeker?
Most Seekers begin training in their youth. I was much older, an exception due to my noble birth.
Yeah, of course.
We train rigorously for years. Our bodies and minds must be elastic to undergo the vigil, and most fail even then.
Is the vigil some kind of initiation?
It is the rite every Seeker must go through in order to summon their gifts. A full year of
Summon the
fasting,
gifts?
prayer, and separation from all distractions, including other people. We
Deep
empty
meditation?
ourselves of all emotion, focusing only on the purity of our devotion. And the moment it finally ends, it's wonderful. Faith realized. I cannot put it into words.
So they gone crazy. You were delirious.
Your mind was probably playing tricks on you by then.
Yet the gifts are real. I know no more than that. If the vigil was not so arduous, I'd say more should attempt it. What if mages never needed to fear possession by demons? I'm told it is impossible, however. I suppose I'll never know the truth of it now.
But what are Seekers exactly?
Those who know anything of us think we are Templars. We do not use lyrium, however. Our abilities are different, as was our original purpose. We disciplined the Templars and were accountable only to the Divine. And not even her, truthfully.
They did a bad job. So who watched you? If you are the police.
So nobody ever watched over the Seekers?
It was the Divine's duty. But she could only do so much when the truth was hidden from her. The Templars have always feared us. When a Seeker arrived at a circle, they knew trouble was afoot. That kind of power is troubling. You begin to think you are the only one who can solve the world's problems. If you don't see a problem, it doesn't exist. If someone insists it does, they are the blind ones.
Do you think that kind of problem could ever be fixed?
Possibly. Though the Seekers themselves would need to change. They were
Just
clearly
get rid
not
of all of
willing to, even though they abandoned everything they stood for to avoid it. In my heart, I believe they can still be salvaged, but not by their own hands.
Yes.
You mentioned that Seekers have different abilities than Templars.
Entirely. A Templar's abilities come from lyrium and are designed to hunt mages. Ours come from ritual and many years of dedicated training. We cannot be possessed by demons and are immune to mind control. Useful considering our role. Seekers can gain other gifts. though that depends on the individual.
How do you know that you are immune to mind control? Have you ever tried?
What kind of gifts do you have?
I can set the lyrium within a person's blood aflame. Both mages and Templars bend before my will. Some seekers use it to interrogate,
Oh,
others simply to paralyze. Once there was a seeker who could use it to kill. That particular gift is considered rare.
I think that's not Lucius. God damn it.
Why did your order turn against
I'm
the
full of
Chantry?
lyrium.
We originally united with the Chantry through a treaty that stated they would keep mages under control. It was felt Most Holy had tacitly allowed the Circle of Magi to vote on its independence, thus breaking the treaty. The Seekers saw themselves as justified, and they led the Templars into a war of righteousness.
You sound like you disagree.
We knew what was happening at Kirkwall, where the Mage Rebellion began. We looked into reports of Knight Commander Meredith's harsh treatment of her charges years earlier. But we found so many shocking cases of magical corruption, it was decided her actions were justified. If we'd been there when it happened, if we'd looked harder at the root causes...
It was inevitable.
What happened couldn't be avoided. It started long ago.
We weren't helpless. We had the power to act and chose not to. When faced with a problem, the Seekers would close ranks and crush it. We would find an answer, but only once we felt we weren't being coerced. The moment the mages voted for independence, our response was predictable. It was difficult to watch.
Okay.
I have no more questions.
Something is troubling me, Inquisitor. Leliana is receiving reports of mages becoming possessed, Templars going rogue. No one is dealing with these matters. I was hoping we might, before they get worse.
It's not our job.
That isn't the Inquisition's job, Cassandra.
The Inquisition will undoubtedly encounter some of these things at any rate. I merely suggest that we are the only ones equipped to deal with them. I will mark these incidents on the map as I learn of them. Do as you will, Inquisitor.
Tell me about yourself.
I have some more questions.
Why am I not surprised?
Tell me about your brother.
I would prefer not to speak of Anthony. Another time, perhaps.
I'll let you get back to work.
Greetings.
May I ask you about
Tell me about him.
It is difficult to say what becomes of the Chantry now. They have no Templars, no leadership, and no one left who is worthy of succeeding the Divine. It has fallen apart when everyone needs it the most. I ache to think what this will mean in the days to come.
Why did you leave the Chantry?
I'm surprised you rebelled against the Chantry.
I left my own order when they took the wrong path. It is no different. But in neither case did I stop caring. Indeed, I care so much that I feel drastic action is necessary. I suppose history shall one day judge my actions.
Do you really believe the Chantry is worth preserving?
I do. Though I understand how someone born outside of human society might think otherwise. Cast the Chantry aside and new problems replace old ones. We will have learned nothing from history. The people need stability, and the Chantry needs a new purpose. Andraste had a dream for us. It can still be achieved.
So what should that new purpose be?
A dedication to what is truly important. Instead of building cathedrals and sewing gowns for the Divine, the Chantry used to spend its coin feeding the poor. If we are to spread the Maker's word across the world, we must do so with open hearts and open hands.
That sounds rather idealistic of you.
Does it? I do not think it's so unachievable. The Chantry has many good, honest people. They just need direction and inspiration. They need to be freed from centuries of adherence to tradition and ceremony. A chance for renewal is at our fingertips. It does not have to come with utter chaos.
Thank you.
I like chaos. Unfinished business. Alright, let's talk to Cullen. He's up in the tower. Well, let's taking a while of talking. Hey dudes. Hello, Cullen.
As leader of the Inquisition, there's something I must tell you.
Well, this sounds ominous.
You're being especially serious today.
I know. Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die.
Oh.
We have secured a reliable source of
What was
lyrium
that
for the
pause?
Templars here. But I no longer take it.
You stopped?
When I joined the Inquisition.
No.
It's been months now.
He wants to not rely on lyrium. You seem fine.
You've never complained.
Why would I? I chose this. After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition at risk. I've asked Cassandra to watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
Are you okay?
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
Alright, I'll trust Cassandra. I respect your decision.
Thank you for telling me. I respect what you're doing.
Thank you, Inquisitor. The
It's a
Inquisition's
weakness.
army must always take priority. Should anything happen, I will defer to Cassandra's judgment.
Reliance on lyrium. Is a lyrium addict.
I'd be perfectly
It's a
happy
weakness.
never again setting foot in the Winter Palace. It wasn't the gossip and backstabbing, I know what the game entails, but the indifference to it all.
I know what you mean.
I didn't care for it myself.
I shouldn't be surprised. The Chantry can be the same. Their politics are less extravagant, but just as heated. Gaspard rules a country. The divine influences half a continent.
Are you with
Did you
Show on
leave
that.
anyone behind in Kirkwall?
No. I fear I made few friends there, and my family's in Ferelden.
No one special caught your interest?
I can't say I was looking. Honestly, I was not good company back then.
Perhaps I'm
I might enjoy your company.
If I've made you think otherwise, I have so many responsibilities, and
Is it
I
the
would hope
horns?
for your friendship, but cannot offer more. Did you need something?
It's the horns, isn't it?
You and the Red Templars leader seem to have personal history.
When I arrived in Kirkwall, Samson and I shared quarters. He seemed a decent man at first. Knight Commander Meredith later expelled Samson for erratic behavior. He ended up begging on Kirkwall streets. He committed further crimes, but managed to evade the Order's justice.
I think I remember him
Now
from Dragon
Samson
Age 2.
serves Corypheus as his loyal general.
Why do you think Samson joined Corypheus?
Giving
He
him
had a
lyrium?
chronic lyrium addiction.
Yeah.
He spent every last coin buying it from local smugglers. Perhaps Corypheus flattered his vanity, gave him purpose as well as lyrium. Perhaps that's all it took.
Samson's gone up in the world.
You can't deny being a general is an improvement to living on the streets.
I'd rather die than kneel to Corypheus. Clearly Samson felt otherwise. I don't understand how he became so powerful. Even with red lyrium, Samson's glory days are long behind him. Did you need something?
Investigate. Tell me about Temple life.
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
What would you like to know?
What does Templar training involve?
There is weapon and combat training. Even without their abilities, Templars are among the best warriors in Thedas. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you enjoy your training?
I wanted to learn everything. If I was giving my life to this, I would be the best Templar I could.
You were a model student.
I wanted to be. I wasn't always successful. Watching a candle burn down while reciting the chant of transfigurations wasn't the most exciting task. I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
Oh. Well, yeah, that
Templars
sounds
take
kind of boring.
vows. I swear to the Maker to watch all the mages, that sort of thing.
There's a vigil first. You're meant to be at peace during that time, but your life is about to change. When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. That's when you're given a filter, your first draft of lyrium and its power. As Templars, we are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement. Our lives belong to the Maker and the path we have chosen.
Do the Templars do anything besides hunt mages?
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. Before the Order left the Chantry, that meant serving in a circle. They were also tasked with tracking apostates or fighting demons inevitably summoned by the weak or malicious.
You've made it clear that you consider mages a threat.
Any mage can be. I won't pretend otherwise. I've seen the
What about
suffering
me?
magic can inflict. I've treated mages with distrust because of it, at times without cause. That was unworthy of me. I will try not to do so here. Not that I want mages moving through our base completely unchecked. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession at the least.
Why did you join the Order?
I could think of no better calling than to protect those in need. I used to beg the Templars at our local chantry to teach me. At first, they merely humored me. I must have shown promise, or at least a willingness to learn. The Knight Captain spoke to my parents on my behalf. They agreed to send me for training. I was 13 when I left home.
13. That's still so young.
I wasn't the youngest there. Some children are promised to the Order at infancy. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18. The Order sees you trained and educated first.
What about your family? Did you miss them?
Of course, but there were many my age who felt the same. We learned to look out for one another.
You've lived in the Circle. What was a typical day for a Templar there?
Typical. The last time I was in a circle was right before it fell apart. Nothing was typical.
Before that, then?
Certain rituals require a full guard. A mage's harrowing, for instance. I've attended a few. Most of the time you merely maintain a presence, on patrol or in the circle, ready to respond if needed. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
Do Templars and mages never speak to each other?
Some do, but Templars are supposed to maintain a certain distance from their charges. If a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, you must act quickly, without hesitation. Your judgment cannot be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Let's see if you have anything else. Tell me about your colleagues.
What do you think of the people you work with?
Who do you mean?
What do you think of our ambassador?
We have little in common. How she delights in meeting with nobles all day is beyond me. But I enjoy working with her.
How do you like working with Liliana?
The Inquisition would not exist without her. I may not always agree with her methods, but she's more passionate about our cause than anyone. Cassandra may have declared the Inquisition publicly, but Liliana is just as responsible for its formation.
Are you satisfied with the Inquisition's forces?
I'm glad we were able to secure the Orlesians as allies. I've received word from the Imperial Army. They are ready to march with the Inquisition when called upon.
Good.
I should let you get back to work.
Was there something you needed?
Anything I should know?
Is there anything I should know?
I'm glad to have the charges on our side. Bull's men are professionals, despite evidence to the contrary.
I should get to know you better. We're working together, after all.
What would you like to know?
All right. Where are you from?
How to act for Eldon. My esteemed ladies... What the fuck is this? Sidonia. I'd like to take full responsibility for Lady Marchalet's odd behavior of late. You see, we recently began the study of history. I thought they would do the young mistress some good to be exposed to all Dedocean cultures and not just Olay. It was a foolish thought. Regrettably, your dear daughter was taking a particular interest in Ferodan folklore. She first developed an affinity for King Calenhad, which seems to have devolved into borderline infatuation. She stared at me, eyes wide, when I told how he unified the barbarians with his allegedly incomparable might and charisma. Every time I tried to move the lesson onto something more important, she insisted I tell her again about Calenhad. How the Ferelden say his hair was twice as yellow as the sun, and his chin more chiseled than the tallest peak in the Frostbacks. Twice now I've had to tear down drawings she's tacked up in her room of the man shirtless. Then we move on to the werewolves, which was even worse. As you may already know, the Fereldans venerate folk heroes Dane and Hafter to have descended from one. No enlightened man or woman could ever view such beast people with anything but revulsion. But you know Fereldans and their love of wildlife. Unfortunately, these tales of the wolfmen set the little mistress's imagination afire. When she suggested we put on a play for you and her lord father, I would not say no, but I'm afraid that's why Marshallais was running through the mansion, wearing wet furs and frightening the chambermaids. She was rehearsing a scene in which Hafter drives back the Darkspawn. I've been informed that some priceless family heirlooms were destroyed amidst all that confusion, and I cannot fully express my dismay. Understand if my abject failure as a tutor results in my immediate dismissal? A letter from Brother Bernard to his former employer. He was fired.
I was transferred to Kirkwall shortly after the Blight.
What the hell was that?
Returning to Haven was the first I'd returned in almost 10 years.
Varric's from Kirkwall. Did you two know each other?
I knew he was friends with the champion of Kirkwall, but little else. We've spoken more since I joined the Inquisition, largely at Varric's insistence. Apparently I spend too much time with a serious expression on my face, and it's bad for my health.
No, it is. It is.
You were away from Ferelden for 10 years. Was it strange being back there again?
Strange? No. If anything, the opposite. I was not sorry to leave Ferelden when I did. I had no desire to return. But leaving Haven was more difficult than I would have imagined. Not just because Corypheus forced it upon us. It felt like I was abandoning my home. I never thought I'd feel that way again.
You were in Ferelden during the Blight. Did you fight Darkspawn?
No. I was stationed at Ferelden's Circle Tower. The Circle had troubles of its own. I remained there during the Blight.
What happened at the Circle Tower?
Few who survived the Blight have fond memories of that time. I would prefer not to speak of it.
What was Kirkwall like?
While I was there, Canary occupied and then attacked the city. The Viscount's murder caused political unrest. Relations between mages and Templars fell apart. An apostate blew up the Chantry, and the Knight Commander went mad. Other than that, it was fine.
What happened between Kirkwall's mages and Templars?
You were at the Conclave. You must have heard people speak of it.
Yes, but you were there.
There was tension between mages and Templars long before I arrived. Eventually, it reached a breaking point. There was fighting in the streets. Abominations began killing both sides. It was a nightmare.
What happened then?
The Templars should have restored order, but Red Lyrium had driven Knight Commander Meredith.
Yeah, we already know the story, Jesus
Threatened
Christ.
to kill Kirkwall's champion. Turned on her own men. I'm not sure how far she would have gone. Too far.
So you opposed her?
I stood with the champion against her, in the end. I should have seen through Meredith sooner.
I'll let you return to your work.
Another time, then.
Well, now we'll have to finish the episode off. No, actually, just jump off this. Whee! Nothing bad happened there. Well, I'm gonna have to end the episode. So I'm gonna go back to the war room and tell them to get on some other quests. Because yeah, real time. Hello. Why do I have to go through her to go to the war room? Jeebus. Jeebus. Just Jeebus. Is there no normal council? It's just the war council. Alright, report. We will provide Zevran with the resources he needs, without telling the crows, of course. Lord Enzo is proving elusive. More eyes in Hercinia cannot hurt. Liliana. Missive sent to Skald. I've tracked down the location of Lord Enzo and rather more venatory than I was expecting. Shall we say goodbye to our troublesome friend, Zevran Arai? Zevran is talented, but also outnumbered. My agents can create a distraction. He can eliminate Enzo at the venatory in the confusion. Themselves in an assassination on Antiva Noble is dangerous, as it's allowing someone to steal the crow's target. If you trust Zevran to complete the task, let us part ways now. Take no chance of attacking a venatory stronghold. We should send our soldiers to assist. Yeah, Liliana, do it.
Inquisitor.
Since you know one. Progress. Commander, the rebel camp is ours. 10 packages of ordnance recovered. 9 mages dead, 3 escaped into the countryside, and 3 brought back for questioning. Now Captain Bryony. Resources, missing seekers, patrol for the crew, reports of darkspawn activity. There are reports of darkspawn activity on the Storm Coast. While the area is sparsely populated, darkspawn pose a significant threat to travelers, as well as to Inquisition soldiers stationed on the coast. Should the darkspawn branch away from the region, villages further inland may be at risk. It's risky, but a few scouts could sneak past the darkspawn and try to determine where they are coming from. Darkspawn are emerging from underground. Our soldiers can sweep the area to determine where they're most concentrated. Do it!
To work?
Yes. And that will be it for the episode. Hooray! Yeah, just wait on that. And we're done. Okay. Send the episode in the throne room, because it's what I do. It's what I do. Get that bit of light. Well, it was the end of the episode, I'm afraid. Yes, we only did talking in war room. But hey, look forward to the next episode, because that's gonna be just like this one. More talking, more war room. Yes. We'll get this done, I'm sure of it. This one, episode 24, 25. There's gonna be a lot more to come, so stay tuned for Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm not gonna do the next episode on the thingy. Yeah, that on the next episode of Dragon Age Inquisition. No, I'm not gonna do that. So yeah, you're just gonna have to wait and anticipate, okay? Okay. Catch you dudes later. Peace.